What is up, everyone? Happy Sunday. We are going live here Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Time here. We're going to be going over the player inactive news, the latest news that came in through this morning, a couple of tweets through Schefter and Rappaport later, I guess this evening, or from last night. And we'll answer any questions you guys might have in the chat room. I did answer a question earlier off the top of the list, and I did put a bunch of notes into the comment section. So if you guys want to read through those, I'll kind of cover those throughout the show. But Sports Dog 1000 came in with a question here. 8-team half-point PPR, need a flex, and I have Ayuk, Jamal, Rashad White. I am Rashad White's been he's been the guy that I've answered the most questions about this week, and I think right now I'm kind of shy on both Fournette and Rashad White. I want to see how these two work going forward. So I think Jamal Williams is the most trusted player here. I think Ayuk's been playing really well. We know Debo's kind of a questionable tag here, but I did see that we did have a report on Debo earlier. I'm looking for it right now. He's believed to play. So I think for me, I'm going to probably lean Jamal Williams here. He's the safest play. And if you want to wait for Ayuk, I'm fine with that. But I would rank him Jamal, Ayuk, and Rashad White. What's going on, guys? We got Chase in the house today saying he needs some help. Need 2 RBs, 1 receiver, and a flex. RBs are CMC, ETN, Walker, P. Ryan, wide receivers, Godwin, JJ. So far, I have CMC, Walker, and then JJ is wide receiver 2, then Evan flex. Any changes? So I think the running backs look good. CMC and Walker are the most trusted guys here. Hopefully, CMC can return to that top 5 status running back. So I think if you need the 2 RBs, those are the 2 I'm going to go with. ETN and your team is pretty stacked here. Like leaving ETN and Piron on the bench kind of sucks, but that's not a bad place to be. Wide receivers are Godwin and Justin Jefferson. So far, I have CMC and Walker, then JJ is wide receiver 2. I think you got to flex Godwin for tomorrow night. He's starting to come around the corner here. He's had touchdowns in a few games, and he's looking like he's totally healthy. So I think you have this all correctly here. I don't know if I need ETN or Piran in over Godwin, CMC or Walker. I'm going to keep JJ in, and Diggs already went. Yeah, I think it's optimized, and at this point, your team is so good, man. Your team is so good, so you have really good decisions here. I think you got to roll with the safe play. CMC Walker's going to be in for a good play today, and then let's just watch ETN from our bench, see how healthy he looks, and then I do like Piran, but we still don't know if Mixon's going to play or not. They were saying that he could be cleared, but I haven't seen anything on Joe Mixon. So now I'm seeing highly unlikely that Mixon plays. So I think you got to stick with your studs here, CMC, Walker, and Godwin. DeAndre Swift or Antonio Gibson today. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift. That game, we're excited about that game. It's got a lot of points in it. I think it's got like a 51-point implied total. It's in Detroit, so we like the fast track turf. And Swift has been playing better. Still not getting a ton of volume, but he's still good for 8 to 12 PPR points. And if he gets the touchdown, there you go. And then with Gibson, he was nursing a foot injury kind of throughout practice this week. So that does scare me off Gibson a little bit. It is a tougher matchup against the Giants. So I'm going to say DeAndre Swift here. And then I think Brian Robinson's probably a pretty dang good play today. So I'm gonna lean with DeAndre Swift. Good morning, Jason. DPJ or Kieran Williams. All I need is 10 from them. I'm gonna go with Kieran Williams then. He's kind of taken over that backfield. He did get 9 points last weekend. I like DPJ a lot, but his matchup is not. I mean, it's not a great matchup going up against the Texans, and they don't allow wide receiver points. They don't allow quarterback points. I think Kieran Williams is starting to take over that backfield there. He did last week. He led the team in carries. Gets a couple of receptions. I think he's probably the guy that's going to get you the 9 to 10, 11 points. I do like DPJ, but part of me wants to see what the offense looks like with Deshaun Watson. So you have Watson coming back. There might be some rust. There might be a little bit more run-heavy game script today with Nick Chubb. I think I'm going to lean Kieran Williams. But last week was the first week that Donovan Peoples-Jones didn't have a good game. And we know that David Njoku is out, but he only went 2 for 16 last weekend. But before that, he had been playing well. So I'm going to lean Kieran Williams, but I get it if you want to go with DPJ. He's been so good lately. Samaje Sanders, are you picks 2, half PPR? I'll go with the running back, Samaje and Miles Sanders. Good morning to Brady. I don't want to start Evans, but it's going to be too late to see Lattimore playing. I wouldn't be too worried about the Evans-Lattimore thing. I know that's always a hyped-up battle between the two, but I think Evans is due for some touchdowns here, and he should be in a good play. The Saints in general are just not playing well. And keep in mind, Lattimore's been hurt and banged up for a lot of time, so he might not even be at 100% if he plays. So I think Evans is probably the play. I don't know if we're ever going to trust Jameson Williams in our lineups. I think if you need, it really depends on your build. If you need running back depth, go with Bam Knight. But I will say this about the Jets backfield. They're going to probably get Michael Carter back in a week or two. So that does kind of pour some cold water on the Jets backfield here. So if I needed a fourth or fifth running back, I'll go with Knight. If you needed a fourth or fifth receiver, I'll go with Jameson Williams. So I think Knight might be the safer stash. Good morning to Ryan. P Ryan. No, I think P Ryan's going to probably have a good game today, but Walker's been so good to us, and he's got an absolute dynamite matchup against the Rams. Like the Rams are basically packing it in. Like their season's over. They just put Stafford on IR. Aaron Donald's hurt. Like there's nothing going on for the Rams today. So Walker should be fed, and he should be probably scoring a touchdown, if not two. Good morning to Harris. Waller has been effective in TD dependent lately. Pirine catches passes too. I mean, if you feel safer with Pirine, I'm fine with it. But I think the matchup today, man. I expect the Seahawks to kind of roll over the Rams as teams have been doing lately. So I like it. But then you also have the potential for the Bengals Chiefs game to be pretty high scoring. I'm trying to look and see. Maybe you do get Pirine in over Godwin again, but the way that I'm looking at this, man, like you have these are dynamite options. These are all really, really good plays. Like Pirine's probably going to go out and get maybe like 90 to 100 yards and a touchdown. Same thing with Walker. I wouldn't sweat too much on some of these decisions. You have really good players. Samaje or Pacheco. This one I'll go with Samaje Pirine. He's more involved in the passing game. He's out there on the field more than Pacheco, so I'll go with Samaje. Gibson or Evan Ingram, PPR. We'll go with Gibson in that one. He's going to get more touches than Ingram today. Pirine or ETN. That one, Ryan, I will go with Pirine in this one. I trust the Bengals offense more than I trust the Jags. Aiden, we're going to go with Kieran Williams. I trust Kieran Williams to be involved as a passing down back and probably get anywhere from 10 to 12 carries, somewhere in that range. White or Pirine, we're going to go with Pirine. That one's pretty easy for me. Pirine all day. Moreau or Higbee. I'm the entire Rams offense is sketch. I do like Kieran Williams just because he's probably going to rack up 2, 3, 4 catches and then probably get over double-digit carries. So I think Kieran Williams is probably the only Ram that I'm comfortable putting in my lineup in a full PPR league. So to me, Foster Moreau, it's a good matchup, a game against the Chargers. That should be pretty high scoring. Let's go with Moreau. It's a good defense, but Waddle's a little bit different player. He's a slot player. They find ways to manufacture him touches. I guess I would need to know who you're sitting Waddle for if that's the case. Evans or Montgomery PPR. I'm gonna go with Mike Evans. I don't trust the Bears. I don't trust the Bears offense. I know the Buccaneers offense has not been great lately either, but I kind of think Monday Night Football, Mike Evans, that's probably where you want to be. Fields or Geno? That one's tough because I like Geno's matchup against the Rams today, but there is that potential where maybe they don't have to throw the ball as much in the second half. So there is that. So I will say Fields is probably the safer play because he's probably going to get you upwards of 60, 70 rushing yards. So those are the free points there. Should be good for a touchdown or two. So I'm going to lean Justin Fields here. But it really, these guys are both like quarterback 8, 9, 10. And a lot of the rankings I've seen, they're all kind of fringe QB, like top 10 QBs. So I'm going to lean Fields. But I think both guys are probably in for top 10 plays. James Robinson or Drake London on PPR. We're going to go with Drake London in this one. The Jets backfield today is going to be weird. You have Ty Johnson, who's going to be the passing down back. You're going to have Zonovan Knight and James Robinson both active today. They're probably going to split the team lead in carries. I'm not sure who's going to be getting more carries between the two, but I think Drake London, especially without Kyle Pitts now, it's easy. He's going to probably lead the team in targets, and he's going against Pittsburgh. That should be a decent matchup for the rookie receiver. Flex PPR: Watson, Wilson, Waddle, or Gibson. Ooh, that one's tough. Man, that one's tough. It's not Gibson. It's not Gibson for sure. I really like Watson today. I like Wilson, and I do like Waddle. Man, I'm still thinking Waddle is the guy here. If you wanted to pivot off Waddle, I suppose I'm cool with Garrett Wilson, because I think Wilson's got a pretty good matchup. It's in Minnesota, so we like that indoor atmosphere. Mike White's playing well. Garrett Wilson should be able to eat against the Vikings cornerbacks here. So I would recommend leaving Waddle in there. He's wide receiver 6 on the season, but if you're nervous about it, I get it. It's a tough matchup against the 49ers, but I tend to say good players show up in big games. So that's why I'm probably leaning Waddle, but I get it if you want to go with Garrett Wilson. And then keep the questions coming in, guys. I'm going to refresh some of my feeds here and see if any more news has dropped in. Darrell Henderson inactive. Of course, David Njoku inactive today. Michael Carter officially inactive. Jerry Jeudy playing today. His first game in, I think, 3 weeks or so. So that's interesting. We'll see if Russell Wilson can kind of pick up some steam here. Travis Etienne active. Zay Jones active. We'll see about Jameson Williams. I'm excited about it. I think he's only going to be the number 3, number 4 wide receiver. Obviously you have Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have DJ Chark, who I think they're going to leave out there because they paid him a good amount of money to be there. So I think Chark's still going to be the number 2, and then you're going to see Williams kind of rotate in as the 3 with probably Khalif Raymond and Josh Reynolds, something like that. And let me see what else we got here for questions. Hawkinson or Smith? Smith half PPR. Smith. Who is Smith? Why can't I think of who Smith is? Is that Devonta Smith? If that's Devonta Smith, I'm going Devonta Smith over Hawkinson. Ayuk or Gibson in a full PPR. Good morning, Bill. We're going to go with Brandon Ayuk today. I had a couple Brandon Ayuk questions earlier, but this one versus Gibson, I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk. I'm a little bit nervous about Gibson. He kind of lost the lead back role last week, especially when Washington's winning. They're going to run the ball with Brian Robinson. In the game against the Giants, I think they could potentially get out to a quick lead and control that game. So I'm kind of nervous about Gibson because of that and his foot injury that he had a missed practice with this week. So we'll go with Brandon Ayuk. The 49ers offense has thrown him a lot of targets lately, so we'll stick with Ayuk. And I am seeing Deebo Samuel's going to play this week. He's got a quad injury, but I mean that could potentially get hurt throughout the game here. So I do like Ayuk in that question. We got Chase Young making his debut today. That's exciting. I'm seeing a report that both sides are open to Jimmy Garoppolo returning to the 49ers in 2023. So that's going to be an interesting offseason for Trey Lance, no doubt. And no problem, man. I appreciate you coming on and getting your question in. Hope everyone has a great Sunday afternoon. A lot of good games today, man. There's a couple games with like super high point totals. I think it could be a lot of fun. I'm seeing here, Christian. I'm on Fantasy News, NBC Sports Edge, ESPN. Chris Mortensen reporting Chase Young is expected. His debut is week 15. My bad. Yep, I read that wrong. Week 15. So he's got some extra time yet. Good catch. Garoppolo or Mike White? Ooh, that's a good question, Harris. I do like Jimmy Garoppolo today. I think he's in for a pretty good game. The Dolphins do allow points to the wide receiver, the tight end, and the quarterback situation. So Garoppolo is probably the safer play. I do think Mike White can have a good game, but especially with the questions at running back, like there's potential for 1, 2, or 3 running backs to score touchdowns. So I will say Jimmy Garoppolo, probably the safer play. And yeah, Chase Young, week 15 I'm seeing for Chase Young. My bad, I just read that wrong. But I'm going to hit refresh on a couple of my feeds. We'll hang out for another 10 or 15 minutes or so, guys. So get your questions in. Let me know what you guys need today. I'm excited. Next weekend is the last regular season weekend for fantasy football in most of my leagues. So getting a win this weekend is very, very crucial. I know I need to finish 2-0 in a couple of my leagues to get it going, but a lot of fun scenarios this weekend. And yeah, the schedule's pretty good today. We got some really fun games for fantasy football. We have the Jags and the Lions. I'm excited about that one. I'm super curious to see if the Vikings offense can handle the Jets defense. I think that's going to be a very interesting game today because I think the Jets are going to be able to hang, maybe 24, 25, 27 points in that range. And then I do like Tennessee Philadelphia matchup and a couple of the other late ones. Let me see here. Higgins or Waddle? I'm going to go with Higgins in this one. Um, you're attaching yourself to Joe Burrow, and I know Tua is a pretty good quarterback lately, but you also have to deal with the 49ers defense. I don't like the Chiefs defense is not playing great football, and they should be there should be a lot of points in that game. And it is Jamar Chase's first game back, which might actually soften some coverages for T. Higgins. I think it's going to be a good T. Higgins day. So we'll go with T. Swift or Gus Edwards PPR. Because that's PPR here, so we're going to go with the guy who catches passes, and that's going to be Swift. Basically, Gus's only chance to beat DeAndre Swift today is if he gets a touchdown. And so, tough matchup against the Broncos. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift. Play like a champion today. Yes, sir, indeed. Garoppolo or Cousins. We're going to go with Jimmy G here. Again, that Jets defense, man, it's really stout. If we look, I'm just looking at my fantasy points allowed charts right now. In terms of like quarterback, running back, receivers, and tight ends, if you're to add up all the fantasy points the Jets allow, they allow the 5th fewest fantasy points per game. So they're pretty stout against quarterbacks. We'll see what Kirk Cousins can do. I think if the Vikings plan to win today, they need to feed Dalvin Cook. That is the weapon today. I think if you're playing DFS or anything like that, Dalvin Cook might be a low-owned guy that could get you where you need to go. So I'm going to say Jimmy Garoppolo. We do not trust the Dolphins defense. They are pretty bad against quarterback and tight end as well. So I think George Kittle could be in the field today. We're going Jalen Hurts here, Christian. We got to stick with we got to stick with him. He's been a top 3 quarterback all season. I get that Justin Fields has been playing at a different level the last month or so, but I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. Jets or Miami defense? Ooh, that one's tough. I struggle to say Miami because the 49ers just got weapons, man. They have a lot of weapons. So I'm gonna say the New York Jets. I think they're gonna be able to stifle the Kirk Cousins Vikings. Should be a handful of sacks. There should be a turnover or 2 in that game. And I think the Jets are playing really good on that side of the ball. So I'll say the New York Jets. Weird as that's like just like would we have like back in the summer, would we have said we're starting the New York Jets defense in week 13? Pretty amazing what's going on over there. And I guess both New York teams, that is pretty cool. My favorite game of the day is going to be Kansas City and Cincinnati. I do think that Miami-San Francisco game is going to be a lot of fun as really the entire the entire late slate is kind of fun. Chargers Raiders should be a lot of fun. Tim, good morning, my man. Jimmy G or Kenny Pickett? I do like Kenny Pickett a lot, but I don't know how many points are expected to be had in that game. I do think the 49ers offense, you're attaching yourself to Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, Kittle, even Jawan Jennings has been doing some things. So you're attaching yourself to more players there in a game that should have more points, like the 49ers and the Dolphins. That game's probably, as far as the over-under here, I'm not sure what it is, but there should be a lot of fantasy points and a lot of actual, scoring in that game. So I'm going to lean with Jimmy G. I don't know if I want to trust the rookie. I know he has been playing well, but it's hard to trust, especially the rookie on the road. I like the Atlanta matchup, but man, there's going to be, I'm seeing about 46, 47 points implied in the Dolphins game. And the Falcons game, I'm seeing about 42. So that's how I kind of do it. So yeah, thank you for hanging out and answering your question, man. I appreciate it. But keep your questions coming in, guys. We're going on about 19 minutes. I'll hang out for another 5 or 10 minutes. I'm just going to hit refresh on some of my feeds and see if we can find any other player news. But I believe that's why I go live at 10:30 Central Time, because all the news is pretty much out. So we're kind of all just looking at things. And yeah, we got a lot of new faces coming back into the fold today. I'm excited to see what Jameson Williams can do. Excited to see what Jerry Jeudy can do. That might hurt Cortland Sutton just a little bit. But I still think Sutton has been playing good football lately. Pickett or Kirk Cousins? Oh, man. Now, that's a tough question. Because I just said we're going to go with Jimmy Garoppolo over Kenny Pickett, and I might Hmm. I might go with Kenny Pickett over Kirk Cousins, but no, Pickett's probably not a guy that's going to get you 2 touchdowns today. I think there is a route where Kirk Cousins gets 2 touchdowns today, so I'm going to lean with Kirk at home. But that's getting close. That one's really really close. I think both guys are probably super flex QB2s today, but I will trust Kirk Cousins over Kenny Pickett today. Let me see what else I can find for you guys. What do you guys need today? Who needs to win? Who needs to have big games today? For me, I'm hoping my guy Justin Herbert. I need the Chargers to have a big game today. Super excited to see what the Bengals do against the Chiefs. That game's going to be that's going to be the popcorn game. That's going to be the game that I'm watching for the majority of that one. So I'm excited for that. I'm looking around here for any other player news. Jalen Warren active for today, so we'll see if he gets to a little bit of the workload from Najee Harris. But yeah, we're pretty much all caught up on player news and reports. So if you guys have any final questions, please get them in. Yeah, otherwise I'll get out of here a little bit early. If you guys are new to the Fantasy Fellowship, definitely subscribe, drop a like, follow, all that good stuff. Check out thefantasyfellowship.com. There's links in the description. And yeah, we go live. So I'm going to try and go live Sunday morning the next 2 Sundays. It might be a little bit more difficult come Christmas time, but Sunday morning we'll do our live hangout. We do one on Saturday night as well, and then we have multiple weekly ones. So I'm having a small party for the Chiefs Bengals. I hope the Chiefs lose. Kansas. Oh wow, interesting. So are we not a Chiefs fan then, Bill? I hope the Chiefs lose. Kansas resident here. Interesting. Very interesting. I think the Bengals are starting to like the way that they were able to hang in there and beat Tennessee last weekend. I think the Bengals are a really tough team, and the fact that this Bengals team made the Super Bowl last year, and they're better. They're a better team this year, so I think it's a lot of fun. We'll see. I just we'll see if the Chiefs can keep up this crazy style of offense they're playing. Yes, I hope everyone has a great weekend and a great rest of your day. Pollard or Eckler non PPR. You got to go Eckler here, man. We're going not even close, Harris. We're gonna go Eckler. Broncos fan in Kansas. Interesting. Okay, so we got kind of living in the enemy lines. Interesting. That's kind of fun. We should do an entire Broncos show one day where we just kind of talk about things. But it's not a great year for the Bronco fans out there. But you're hanging in there tough. So yeah, I guess I'll say go Bengals, go Chargers today too. I don't know if you're a Chargers guy since they compete with the Chiefs as well. I meant Pollard or Elliott. Okay. Pollard or Elliott non-PPR. And that one, Harris, I'm going to stick with Ezekiel Elliott. I think the bye week and the week he missed for injury kind of helped him. It gave him kind of like a longer time period to get fresh. He's looked good the last couple games. He's falling into the end zone. I'll go with Ezekiel Elliott in this one. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here for the day. Good luck with everything. I hope you guys get all the fantasy wins you need. And hopefully you guys, if you're playing DFS, you guys can win some cash for today. But good luck. Thank you guys so much for your time. And we'll see you in a future video. Peace.